Now, hello there, and welcome to the newest video that I'm doing for January. Actually, shocker. Uh, Today we'll be reviewing the actually pretty cool thing that I'm actually looking at in YouTube is the Marvel Legends Secret Wars Black Suit Spider-Man. And so it's a Spider-Man. This is a Black Suit friends. They have not released or they haven't released a Purple Strand. It's a Black Suit Spider-Man. I had the description below, or you can find it. I was gonna put the link for the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man, but that one is now not sold on the Big Bad Toy Store anymore, so I put it for Walmart. So looking where you can. But this one still it's available on the Big Bad Toy Store if you know where you buy it. It's $25 and it's pretty good pricing. And the packaging's freaking massive and so huge. And I will say I do the packaging and I don't do this as much. On the packaging, you see Titanium, Wolverine, Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man, and Beyonder. These are all from Wave 1. Now, from what I heard, they're going to do Wave 2, which they may bring other heroes, because if you know the comic, it bring the Fantastic Four, it bring every single more character team up, the Avengers, and stuff like that, for Secret Wars, the comic. And I mean, we get a Daredevil, and hopefully we do, because I really like a classic Daredevil. I have the Morgan one, but I like classics sometimes. Anyways, so let's take a close look at the figure itself, and this one's unmodified. So yeah, I'm doing that right now, and unmodified. So now let's look.
Now, let's take a better look at the Secret Wars Spider-Man. And when I talked in last week or the week before, when I talked about the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man, he's the same body basically. I'll get that when we get there. But first, look at the figure itself and the accessory it has with it. The figure itself. It's basically the same figure, same body mode, and everything of the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man, which is using the original card body. And I will say, I like how this looks. It looks really good in black. And I really like how this looks in general. Like giving Spider-Man the black suit was awesome. And now this one I didn't modify. Now here's the one that I modified and reviewed. This one is the center articulation, so barely a crunch. Arms really same, except that it really can't bend as much forward or much back. Yeah, shocker. Head, so it's some articulation. Legs, some articulation. Except it's super tight on mine. Mine is like super freaking tight. Like even when a side figure, the thing's super freaking tight to bend. Like good grief. So yeah, he gets on butt like that. And for both figures too, not one figure. Someone will kick him, and assuming what the difference is of the one that barely touches barely squeeze. Yes, it is there, but not that much there. Articulation is basically the same thing as that one, but unmodified. Toes you can bend down that far, up that far. Boost right here, dud on the knees. Dolly right here. That is actually tight as well. You can hear it. And Dom Drive really flexible. And actually, I do like that they cover the gaps. So originally, I never talked about the gaps within the arms on this Spider-Man right here. There are gaps inside that, so you can put the webs. They covered them up in this one, which is actually pretty cool. They did that part. And I will say that is fantastic. As a Secret Wars. From what I know, we're getting some more Secret Wars stuff too. Maybe around next year. Maybe, who knows? Now the gimmick with these Secret Wars figures, and now if people don't remember or don't know, now the Secret Wars figures are based on the ones back in the 80s of when the original comic came out. For that one, that had toys for it as well. They had a bunch of Spider-Man for it. They had Wolverine, a lot of characters, and some of the ones that they just did back then. They also had these little card things. Now you say, oh, what are those? Well, these go on the arm kind of like a shield. It just sits on the arm. It to celebrate the 40 years of a sequel that came out in 1984. What the hell is not? Okay. And actually, it's really cool. So, clutches when you play with the knife. Okay. You just pop it out and sits in place. So, this sits in here. And you can see the black suit, and it's one of those things where it changes of how it looks. So it needs to appear face. And that's kind of cool. See, it pops in and out, and you get two of them. Now, other accessories you do get is Two-Fit's hands. So he's ready to deck you. And I will say, they didn't. They also did a black suit of I think they also did a black suit a few years ago, and the suits that they used the same one. However, the hands they were square, they weren't triangle. Now within the comic, if you know about it, there were triangles in the comic. You also get some web crawling hands, and one thing that I like that these come with Dipper hands. And yes, it is really cool. And they all have articulation. So make the hand look like that. This hands do that. This all of them have the same kind of articulation. And I do like that part. And you get one thing that I actually like. Now the big eyes, those are really from Craven's Hunt. People are saying that it is the Big Eyes is really based on the Craven's Hunt that came out back in 2000, if I remember correctly. And the other head, yes, you get two heads. I'd pop the head off camera, it's easier to do that. The other head right here, is no, I think this one based on the 2000 comic from like Craven Hunt, and this one, the two head modes are really cool. And people are saying that either this one or this one based on Craven's Hunt, and I do like how it looks. However, they also released the Dark Avenger Spider-Man, which also come with both heads, if I remember correctly, or they came with this head. And basically, the Dark Avengers is this alternate universe where Tony never became Iron Man, and it was, I mean, from what I know, it was Norman Osborn that had the Iron Patriot suit. Spider-Man has 6 arms, so here, and here, and the new body they used for it actually had to bend. The original body they used for the 6 arms was a solid piece, so it never bent or anything. So that's what's not good. And I kind of the suit, and it does have a ball joint within the body right here, which I forgot to mention, but yeah, barely any movement. I thought if you got modify yourself, they give yourself the best Spider-Man for particular purposes only. And I do like how it looks. I will go probably would stick with this head for a while because I think I like it more better. I just gotta fix. I just gotta modify this one as well. So I did modify it so I can show differences when it comes to this Spider-Man. That's in this Spider-Man. So I kind of like that part. So that gets my final thoughts on this.
No, I will say it is really good. I just need at that point I just need to modify mine to get the articulation that I like for it. I think this man is lacking a lot of articulation that he really needs. But it's a black suit, so technically, I mean, if you mess up, I mean, it is black. So pretty easy to fix up, and just a little bit of of work, actually. And it's really not that much of work to do. Shocker. And that's the best part, sorry. This cutting away. Son of a gun. These are way too tight, I'll be honest here. I'm being cautious because I came with my knife in my hand, so I think I cut off enough. Kind of. I'll do more later on. But I think it's fantastic, and I think it looks really good for what it is. And it does easy modifications for figure. At that point, go to Hobby Lobby, buy a drummer set, which is like $20, which is like $20. Which I think you get the whole thing. You get Dremel, you get the powered stuff, and Sanders and stuff like that for 25. Right, worth getting. But it's fantastic of a figure. If you're gonna have a black suit Spider-Man, and this is a third or fourth black suit we're getting. If I remember correctly, back when I think toys, back when Marvel got the license for Spider-Man. Sorry, make sure shoot. When Marvel was, or sorry, Hasbro got the license back from Toy Biz. They made their Marvel Legends, which we know as Marvel Legends today. Um, and they made some Spider-Man figures for Spider-Man 3 and 2 for the movie, actually. We got the license from that movie, and that's the first one we got, if I remember correctly. And then we also had a Secret Wars one that came out a bit after. They used the same body mode as the Spider-Man movie one. And later on, with the Carnage and Spider-Man 2 pack down with a black suit, well, without using the pizza body Spider-Man. It was the biggest thing back then, but nowadays people kind of forgot about. And they also released a virtual card also a few years ago. And that's the newest one that came out last year. So now this is our fourth one. So it's kind of cool that we're getting not only a black suit, but we're getting the experience of Spider-Man, like Ben Riley to Miguel O'Hara to actually so many different types of Spider-Man out there. It's actually cool we're getting some. And the fact you're getting a retro card that is coming out, I think this came out next year, which is gonna be the 2099 suit. And that one is using the Renew Your File Spider-Man. And that one had the toe bend, which I will pick up. I do like the skinnier body actually on him. Not the big bulky one that we had into Spider-Verse, but that's just me. So we'll see when we get there. So yeah, I hope you have a good day. Everything should be in the description below, where you can find my social media and stuff like that, which is going to be my link tree basically. So yeah, peace out.